Just really quickly, wanted to offer up a couple things that have been helpful for me during this US election cycle. One is to remember that we're working towards common goals. For the vast majority of us, we're all making our sandwiches the same way. We're concerned about people with way too much money running everything too. We're more on the same page than we think. Our neighbors are not our enemies, and it has been worse than this. No one will be ending the universe by being elected. The second thing of note is that absolutely no one is entitled to know who you vote for. No one. The third is that you can pre-print your ballot. You should pre-print your ballot. Do your research, mark up that ballot, and bring it in to vote with you. I don't remember names particularly well. I need my notes with me when I vote. It's illegal to pull out your phone, so you need the physical printout. Belonging to a party does not make you a qualified candidate. And LinkedIn is actually a great platform to do research on. If you are a Jesus follower, here's one of the lines of questioning that has helped me be able to question and learn recently. If David was a man after God's own heart and sexually exploited someone and had their husband murdered, then maybe I can be wrong about where I think God's heart is. If Saul was so wrong about persecuting Christians in God's name because he believed that young Christians were blasphemous and that God needed Saul to defend him, then maybe God doesn't need my defense. If the majority of white evangelical churches were on the wrong side of history during the American and Canadian colonization, the Holocaust, women voting, and segregation, then maybe the beliefs of the evangelical majority of today are worth questioning, even if it seems really obvious, because these very wrong things and policies seemed right to millions of people. They had a lot of biblical justification for their positions. We are not smarter than previous generations because we have smart technology, and I want to learn that from history. So now it's a part of my spiritual practice to question and to mourn and also to rejoice. I believe that God is certainly big enough for that, and actually I think it's encouraged through scripture and it leads to growth. There are so many studies and polls that show that a majority of us fall into the middle of these big divisive cracks. We're not on the edges. Generally, we all want America to be good and better. Also, I discovered that I was having a really hard time evaluating policies and leadership because I thought I was morally better than or was afraid of the opposition. And I'm just not interested in that anymore. I'm not interested in following a fearmonger or really any leader or association who can't be questioned or anyone who tells me that my neighbor is opposition instead of valuing them as a human being. I believe your vote counts. I believe my vote counts. And not just for the president, but all the way down the ticket. The railroad commissioner who's over oil and gas, state Supreme Court seats, tax assessors, important city government seats are all on my ballot. And while I will probably vote a majority Democratic, I'm going to research them all because I want the best person for the job and I'm not loyal to any one party. I'm loyal to my kids and to principles. My principles and people over party always. Another thing that has been really helpful for me is using an app that pays you to play games with ads because it limits my social media time. Pro tip, do not spend money to make money on those apps. It is usually a trap. We're almost there, y'all. Look for the good stuff. It is there.